How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Classics of CS video. Today we're going to be building an orange inventory. I've been so excited to make this video. This is my favorite color to do in Counter-Strike. I think I have some super unique skins in this list. This knife glove combo is pattern 16 butterfly knife fade, so it's a low fade percentage, and pattern 817 sports gloves big game. Pattern 817 gives you max orange on both your left and right hand. Let's get right into the video. On the Glock, we have the Royal Legion. I feel like I never see this skin in-game. I've maybe seen 2 people rock it ever. I think it's a very beautiful Glock. It does have a very unique shade of orange, but the silver engravings on top really match well. You're an absolute king if you rock this thing. I mean, it's in the name, the Royal Legion. Glock number 2 is going to be the Reactor. This is kind of a niche pick Glock. Some people consider it to be more yellow. I personally think it's very orange and does deserve a spot on this list. It's also a pattern-based Glock, so you can get different patterns. All the nuclear reactor signs can change up. So if pattern-based skins are your thing, get this Glock instead. On the USPS, I'm going with the Orion. This is a classic USPS finish. It's an old head skin. It's been in the game for a very long time. It did actually come from the Huntsman collection back in the day, but you can no longer get it from the case. It's kind of a fake contraband item. The person who made the Howl artwork also made the Orion, so it also got removed from the game. You cannot get it from the Huntsman case, but you can still trade up to it. So it's kind of half contraband. Very cool skin with some interesting lore behind it. On the P2000, I'm going with the Imperial Dragon. This thing kind of gives me imperialist vibes. You know, maybe you're a China nationalist. If you're a China nationalist, for sure, pick this thing up. Not everybody is a P2000 enjoyer. I'm personally not. But if you're out there, you're going for an orange inventory, I think the Imperial Dragon is the skin for you. Now, for the P250, I'm going with the Bengal Tiger. This is pattern 55, and it is a max orange finish. I actually included this skin in my white inventory video with an all-white pattern. So very cool. I do have a soft spot for pattern-based skins. I think they're so unique, so interesting, and I honestly think it has a super sleek finish and the best orange P250 in the entire game. Next up on the list is the Dooley's Demolition. These things unfortunately are float capped at field tested, so you might not be able to get ones that look as clean as this. These are fake. This is just in an inspect server. These things used to have the Jesus pattern, so like a little Jesus appeared on the handles on each gun depending on the wear. I don't know if that's been implemented into CS2 yet, but if it is and it comes out soon, I'm definitely going to pick one up. Next up on the CZ, we have the Tigress. In Factory New, this is a super affordable skin at only $1.30, and I think it has a super sleek finish. It kind of reminds me of the Ruby Poison Dart on the MP9, but on the CZ. It's very nice looking, very sleek orange. The handle, that beautiful orange fade. I'm a huge fan of it. If you like tigers, maybe you're more of an exotic guy. You know, you like to party a little bit. This is the CZ for you. First Tech 9 is going to be the Red Quartz. Now, I know it is called the Red Quartz, but that is clearly orange in my opinion. Beautiful finish, don't get me wrong, but definitely orange. I had a heckler back in the day on my red video say that I missed including the Red Quartz Tech 9 in the video, but like I said, clearly orange, but not taking away from the skin. Beautiful. Our second Tech 9 is going to be the Orange Murano. This is just one of those skins that I don't think many people have seen before. It's a very unique pattern, very interesting shade of orange. I would almost call it caramel, but it's very cool. I like the little flowers. I love including skins that no one's ever seen before. I love rocking skins that no one's ever seen before. You know, it's a conversation starter. You rock this thing, your teammates are spectating you. They say, hey, that's a really nice Tech 9. Where'd you get that thing? I've never seen it. Very cool skin. For the 5.7, I'm going with the Nitro. I didn't want to include the Nitro 5 times on the list because I think it has 5 finishes, but I do think it looks really good on the 5.7, and it might be the best orange choice we have. There's also the Copper Galaxy. I mean, it is like a bronze finish, but you can make an argument for it being orange. And of course, the Orange Peel, but the Orange Peel is a terrible looking skin, so I think the Nitro is our best option. Onto our Deagles. Up first, we have the Light Rail. This thing isn't crazy orange. It has barely any orange right on the front there. It is a nice looking skin, don't get me wrong. I really only included it as a budget option because the other 2 Deagles we have on this list run hundreds of dollars, so I want to leave it here. Our second Desert Eagle is going to be the Blaze. Of course, I had to throw this thing on this list. Clearly, it's orange. I mean, obviously, right? But it is a classic skin. It's an old head Deagle, classic finish. Everybody knows the Blaze. This is one of the very first high-tier items. Very expensive. It has taken a price drop recently, which is interesting, but still a classic skin. Finally, on the Desert Eagle, we have the Fennec Fox, the best looking Desert Eagle in the entire game, and in my opinion, the second best looking skin on this list. Such a beautiful weapon. Someone absolutely cooked here. This is a 5-star meal. I personally rock one of these. Here's mine, little 2014 cologne sticker on it. Beautiful deagle. I don't know what I would do without it. I love it in my life. It keeps me sane. It makes me happy. It makes me whole. Getting into our SMGs now on the Mac 10. First up, we have the Heat, another skin that I personally rock. Love this thing. I think it looks absolutely amazing. It is a classic skin, an old head skin, timeless weapon, very unique, very interesting design in concept. I don't think there's another skin that kind of replicates the same thing that the Heat finish does on a weapon. Love it. Our second Mac 10 is going to be the Copper Boar. This is another one of those skins that is technically copper or brass in theory, but looks very orange when you're in the light, and you cannot deny the fact that this thing is just absolutely breathtaking. I think it's my third favorite skin on this list. Comes from a banger collection. It's a little bit expensive, I'm not going to lie, but if you want to ball out a little bit, here's the option for you. On the MP5, I'm going with the Oxide Oasis. It is a little bit expensive, I know, maybe a lot of bit expensive actually, but they absolutely cooked on this thing. It's from the same collection as the Fennec Fox, the 2021 Mirage collection. An amazing collection. It's definitely an S tier collection. If I were to rank all the collections, Mirage is number 1 and it doesn't even come close. I don't care about the Dragon lore. Okay, all the skins from the Mirage collection look absolutely amazing. Onto the MP7, we have the Urban Hazard. Really wanted to include this thing just because it's so budget friendly, as well as being kind of a classic skin in my opinion. I don't know why, but in my brain I look at this thing and I feel like I've seen it for 10 years. It's just always comes to mind when I think of orange skins. This is like one of the first one that pops in. That might just be a me thing. Let me know if you agree. Now our second MP7 is going to be the Abysmal Apparition. In factory new, this is only $5.56, so he's super cheap. Pink skin. When I was younger, I wanted a bunch of pinks and reds in my inventory. I didn't care what they were as long as they were pink and red tier skins. So if you're like that, pick this one up. It can be a great little, placeholder until you get something better. Now onto the MP9, best gun in the game. Bless up, we have the Modest Threat. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this skin, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It is only 16 cents in factory new, so super budget friendly, and it does kind of remind me of the Orbit Mark 1 on the AK-47, but just an orange version, kind of a futuristic in space style weapon. Sadly, it's not the best looking. We are very limited when it comes to orange options on the MP9, so this one, unfortunately, is our best. Now onto the P90, we have the Tiger Pit, another skin that I had never seen before. I saw it on Twitter a couple weeks ago for the first ever time and I wanted to include it in a video. I think it's super unique. I'm pretty sure it's a very old skin, don't quote me on that, but I've never really seen anything like this in the game. It has kind of a vintage kind of throwback Japanese style artwork on it, like in Japanese folklore or something like that. This is kind of the style of art I think that's on this skin. Very cool, very unique pick. Now onto the UMP, our last SMG of the video, with the Oscillator. This is a very nice skin. I get really zen vibes from it. Like I get it very peaceful, very relaxing room, maybe with one of those beautiful little sand pits or sand gardens that is just flawless in its design. Very cool skin. Moving on to our shotguns, we have the Memento on the Mag 7. Say that 3 times fast. This is one of those skins that's very sleek, right? Very plain, very minimalist with just a hint of orange, an orange accent. And I'm a big fan of skins like this. It kind of reminds me of the Elite build. Big fan. Our second Mag 7 is going to be the Heat, once again making its second appearance, and I have to be completely honest, it looks 10 times better on the Mag 7 than it did on the Mac 10. So much more vibrant. This thing actually looks like a fiery core. I love it. Beautiful skin. Now moving on to the Nova, our first skin is going to be the Red Quartz. This thing checks 2 boxes for me. A very sleek finish across the whole skin, right? So the whole skin has the skin or the, pattern template on it, and it's metallic. Skins like this just look so absolutely clean, right? This is what the Prince Stream does. This is what the Blue Phosphorus does. This is what the Hot Rod does, right? I'm a huge fan of skins like this, and I think it's a beautiful Nova. Our second Nova is going to be the Baroque Orange. If you know about the Baroque Purple on the AK-47, this thing mogs that skin so unbelievably hard. Look at the beautiful mosaic pattern on this thing. It's like a beautiful handcrafted tile floor that took 30 years to complete, and it will be in a palace for generations to come. This thing came straight from the royal palace of the Roman Empire. Beautiful skin. Now onto the sawed off, we have the origami up first here, a very budget skin. I don't know why this skin pleases my brain so much, but I just love it. I love geometry patterns, I think, on weapons, right? The red quartz is a geometry pattern. This is a geometry pattern. Maybe it's a little bit more yellow than orange, but nonetheless, a beautiful looking skin. Now our second sawed off is going to be the Kraken. All jokes aside, right? Removing the fact that this is on the sawed off, I love this artwork so much. I think it's a top tier artwork. It's kind of unfortunate it ended up on the sawed off of all weapons. Like, imagine if this was on the AK or on the op. This would be an S tier skin, no doubt in my mind. Moving on to the XM, we have the Seasons. I'm sure you guys remember this skin if you're an old head. If you watched McSkillet back in the day, right? The blue leaf Seasons. That is a rare pattern that you can get on this thing, right where the green leaves are in the middle. You can sometimes get a blue leaf right there. Very cool. Very sleek skin. I like it. Now, I am actually including a Negev skin on the list, and it's the dev_texture. One of those skins that I didn't know existed until I went searching to make this list. Very unique in my opinion. It's unfinished, right? It looks like the pattern template hasn't fully loaded in. It's very cool. I think it's kind of a unique skin. I think you should have a well-rounded inventory, right? Of course, get your AK, M4 op, pistols, of course. But if you get little gems like this to complete your showcase, it makes it all the better. Moving on to the Gleal, we have the orange DD-Pat, starting off the rifles strong. I am actually a fan of DD-Pat skins. I like the pink DD-Pat, right? The orange DD-Pat, exactly the same as that, just orange instead. Great pick on the list. Now for the AK, the best budget AK in the entire game. Arguably the best budget skin in the entire game. The Elite build. Factory new, $4.06. Also looks amazing if you do choose to get a stat track version of it. The stat track counter fits perfectly. You can throw any orange sticker on this thing and it looks absolutely phenomenal. I love this thing. I'm going to meat ride this thing until the day I die, to the day I hit the grave, to my last breath. Not everybody's a fan, but me personally, yes sir. Now, Chad AK is going to be the Asimov, of course, and factory new, it's $153. There is a very steep price jump from minimal wear to factory new. Minimal wear is more affordable, around $70, I believe. This is my personal Asimov 4X 2014 Katowice Virtus Pro Hollows. I'm just kidding. I don't actually own this, but nonetheless, a beautiful looking finish from a beautiful looking collection on a beautiful gun. Now onto the FAMAS, we have the Crypis. Unfortunately, we didn't have any orange FAMAS options. If you know a better one and I didn't see it, please let me know down in the comment section. But this thing is abysmal. This thing is atrocious. It has cockroaches all over it. Who would want to rock this? Don't rock this thing, please. If I find you rock this in your inventory, I will personally come find you and make sure I deal with it. Back to an actually good skin, we have the M4A1S Nitro. In factory new, these are going to cost you just over $3. The second best budget skin in the entire game. And I'm not just talking orange skins. I wasn't just talking orange skins when I was talking about the Elite build. These two are the best budget skins in the entire game, hands down. We have back-to-back bangers on the M4A1S. We have the Atomic Alloy, another old head skin, a classic weapon. It's aged timelessly, still looks good to this day. The M4A1S, we're just so absolutely spoiled. All the top tier skins are on the M4A1S. Let's give the M4A4 some love for once, please. Now, first up on the M4A4, we have the Radiation. These things in minimal wear are going to cost you around $70. There is a very steep price jump to factory new, going to get from $70 to about $400 to $500. An old head skin looks very cool. If Radiation kind of symbols are like your thing, I was trying to think of like an aesthetic or a stereotype that fell into, and they were kind of escaping me. You know, maybe Chernobyl. If you like Chernobyl, pick up this thing. Second M4A4 is going to be the Howl. This is the end game skin, of course, right? If you have one of these things, you've completed your M4A4 collection. If you don't have one of these things, get a job, work harder, don't come back from work, do not clock out until you can afford one of these Howls. Now onto the SG553, we have the Tiger Moth. This is one of those super unique skins that I didn't really know existed once again. Very interesting pattern, kind of a lot going on here. I'm not too sure what it wants to be, but what I really like is the orange scope. When you're scoped in, it's actually orange. Not a lot of skins do that. I don't know of any other ones that do that except for this one. Now for the AUG, I'm going with the Bengal Tiger. I really love this thing. I love this finish on anything that's on. I think it's just on the P250 in the AUG. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks just as good here as it did on the P250. And what I like about this is, as you can see on the body of the weapon, it's actually like a tiger, right? Orange on top, a white underbelly. Very cool skin. Moving on to our scouts, I have a couple gems for you guys here. Up first, we have the Threat Detected. I love this skin. I had one of these when I had my orange inventory, and when I found it, I was so unbelievably happy. A beautiful orange body. Unfortunately, it doesn't wear very well on the back towards the butt of the rifle there, but paired with that orange and white scope, it looks amazing. Our second scout is going to be the Orange Filigree. Very interesting skin here. It's almost maroon and brown, but technically it is orange, I guess. It's a shade of orange on the orange color spectrum. I didn't know this thing existed. I found so many cool skins when making this list. I wish I knew about these back in the day. Again, when I had my orange inventory, but I think this is another gem of a scout that will definitely start conversations. Moving on to our ops, we have 3 amazing options here. I'm going to go by price. Up first, we have the Op Boom. I don't know why I love this skin so much, but I just think it's so amazing. It pops so brilliantly, right? It's not metallic, so it doesn't shine, but that orange is just so in your face. I love it. Up next, the Asimov, right? Everybody saw this coming. One of the first classic op skins. It's a timeless skin. I really don't need to talk about it. Everybody knows the Asimov. There's not a lot to say. Of course, you could get the rare Blackamoff with the black scope. Kind of cool, but again, everybody knows about these. I'm going to leave you with that. And last but not least, the best skin on the entire list, my favorite skin on the entire list, my favorite op in the entire game, the Desert Hydra. Once again, coming from the 2021 Mirage Collection. What a beautiful skin. The yellow, the gold, the orange, the white scope, the teal tongues. It's just amazing. I could talk for hours about how much I love this thing. It also gets kind of a Blackamoff variant in high floats. The scope turns black, but it maintains its engravings. Such a cool skin. I just adore. I can make a 20-minute video talking about just how much I love the Desert Hydra. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to be giving away a minimal wear AK-47 inheritance once we hit 1,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel. We're getting so unbelievably close. Please make sure to join the Discord server down in the description. We're building a great community there. That's where all the giveaway information is held and where all the giveaway informations are, announced and whatnot. So I'll see you guys next time.